Broadcasting to you from Trailer Island in the heart of Louisville, Kentucky. It's the internet's #1 party talk show, the Sam and Dan Nation.
Okay, gentlemen, this is the moment you've all been waiting for. If you've seen any of her films or you've just been on the internet lately, you should probably know who this woman is. If you don't, you should. Homegirl got a wiki page. Did you know that? You know you're somebody when you got the Wikipedia page. We have seen her in movies such as Albino Farm, In a Spiral State, The Devil's Muse, and My Sucky Teen Romance. She also hosts a bi-monthly videocast called WTF, or Watch These Films. She's about as up-and-coming gets. A smile that melts hearts and a body that stops fucking traffic. Gentlemen, please use your one free hand to clap on something. Miss Bianca Barnett. Miss Barnett, how the hell are you?
Hi, I'm great. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
No. Thank you for being on the show. I can't tell you how excited we actually are to have you on the program tonight.
Oh, well, thank you.
Oh, we definitely were. We're talking about this earlier. It's nice to actually have a woman on the show for once.
Yeah, it doesn't happen too often.
It is. It's terrible. It's a goddamn sausage fest over here. So this is a nice change of pace, especially for a woman. So.
Oh, thank you.
So Dan and I have been following your work for a while. We actually watched Albino Farm the other night for the first time.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I gotta say, I can't speak for Dan, but I really dug it. Dan,
cool.
How'd you
Yeah,
feel?
it was pretty interesting flick.
That is for a low budget horror film. It's actually fucking badass. Most low budget horror films suck. I mean, honestly,
Right, it's true.
You don't really expect much, but this was actually different. It had a decent story. It was shot well.
Yeah.
The killers in the movie were wonderful. The deranged mutant psychopaths. That's actually some scary shit.
Good. I hope I scared you.
It's scary for us because we live somewhere this could actually happen. Kentucky.
Oh, okay.
I mean, Louisville's relatively normal, but you get outside of Louisville into the deep south of Kentucky, and
right.
It can double for West Virginia.
Nothing but ass rape country.
Husband's from West Virginia, so I'm there a lot actually.
Are you? Right on.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Just any sort of I don't want to say backwoods because I don't want it to be insulting to anyone. But yeah, I mean,
it's okay. There's people in this.
How about rural, like a rural part of town where there are overzealous religious cults almost.
Right. Well, we'll just say this: the stereotypes exist for a reason.
I mean that's true.
There's people in this goddamn state who still don't wear shoes. That's a fact. That is a fact. Loved your character in that. What were you called? Was it Pig Girl?
Pig Bitch.
Pig Bitch. Okay.
Pig Bitch. Yeah.
Fucking awesome.
The only problem I had with it is you're a beautiful woman and they cover your face with prosthetics. I mean, I love the concept, but
yeah. Well,
a lot of people actually had that same complaint, and they really had trouble finding someone that wanted to play that part.
Right.
Well, I was going to ask,
yeah.
How horrible was the actual makeup?
It was hard. I mean, it took sometimes 4 hours just to put it on, and I would have to wear it for sometimes 12 to 15 hours a day.
Jesus.
And but I always say this, once I was on set, I didn't even think about it, It was just the waiting part, that was so hard. Having to sit around with that stupid thing on my head all the time.
Does it feel really awkward?
I would imagine it would.
It weighed about almost 5 pounds, so having that on your head all day, and it was made out of fiberglass with a silicone
that sounds
skin.
That sounds
right?
awful.
It really cut into my head, and I couldn't see out of one eye, and I had to wear these uncomfortable teeth, and it was just not.
So I'm guessing there was no eating or drinking or anything.
No, not really. I had to take the teeth out and drink out of a straw. So it wasn't really that fun.
Well, it's something that you totally didn't expect. Like when you first see you in the scene, all you see is your body, and you're like, Jesus, like this dude doesn't have it that bad. I mean. Yeah, he's got a fucking bear trap stuck on his leg, but shit could be worse. This chick's smoking. And then up comes the veil, and you're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Put it back down.
That's actually my favorite scene because it's just so surreal, so weird.
It is.
Like, man, that's really kind of fucked up. I don't know. I don't know. My at least my dad, he saw the movie, and he was just kind of like, are you okay, honey?
Nice.
I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. My parents know I'm kind of weird anyway, so.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with being weird. So,
yeah.
You were awesome in that. For all those who've been living under a rock and don't know who you are, could you tell us just a little bit about yourself? Who is Bianca Barnett?
I'm an actress, and I'm mostly known for Albino Farm, though I do have several films in the works and coming out this year. I also have a horror movie review show podcast.
That's right. You do.
We've checked that out quite a bit.
Oh, cool. Yeah, watch these films, WTF, and it's just sort of a goofy. I love 80s slashers films, so it's basically me sitting around kind of ripping on them and just talking about them, and it's just kind of a fun little show.
No, it's great, actually.
Thanks.
Your reviews are insightful and poignant.
I don't want to be too stuffy, so
No.
Well, here's the thing. I love 80s slasher films too, but like 90% of them, they're just mind-numbingly bad.
Yeah,
but
it's true.
They're fun too.
They're fun though. Yeah, I mean, you don't really go expecting. That's the whole premise of the show. I mean, they're just sort of a play on the WTF anyway. Like, there's so many bad ones that had such like strange what the fuck kind of moments that I just sort of thought, hey, this is a good. I mean, a lot of people do review shows, but no one really does like a vidcast or a videocast, whatever you want to say.
No,
and
you're right.
And they also review big stuff like modern films and stuff like that. And I kind of wanted to tap into films I liked, and I know there's a niche for it out there.
We saw the review you did of the video Dead, which
that's my favorite one so far.
Daniel and I watched the video Dead a little while ago, and that's a rough sumbitch to get through.
I know.
And that was with plenty of alcohol.
Yeah, we were drunk when we watched that fucking movie, and it's pretty rough to get through.
It is. You know, a lot of people really love that movie, so a lot of people were kind of like, why did you give it such a bad review? But I think it had potential. I just think it just kind of...
I think there are things about it that work. So, like, I like the weird concept of the TV that just happens to be delivered to the house.
Right. Like, they were supposed to deliver it to the occult center or whatever.
They're some of the weirdest zombies ever.
Sometimes a bad film is just a bad film, you know, at the end of the day. So tell us what got you interested in acting?
Well, I have always loved movies. I wanted to know when I was a kid, I wanted to learn more about how they were made, and so I watched all these shows growing up, like Movie Magic and all that stuff. And I don't know, I just got interested. And then as I got older, I was watching a lot of independent film.
Nice.
I just really loved it, and I thought, you know, I wanted to be a part of that. So I started out as a model and then got bored with that pretty quickly.
What got you interested in the horror genre specifically? Like what? Because most women are not at all into horror.
Yeah.
Most women are like, you know, oh God, they won't watch a scary movie without some dude to cling to. Like,
well, my parents, when I was younger, they had a model kit shop called Lunar Models. So my parents were really into the sci-fi thing, and they would go to all these conventions, but my dad especially also sold some horror kits and stuff. So I sort of tagged along with him, and I went to sci-fi conventions, and at the time the genres kind of overlapped, not so much now. I mean, there's separate conventions really for both, but I had a chance to meet a lot of people that worked in the business as a kid, and someone like Bob Burns, who has original props from An American Werewolf in London and Alien and Exorcist and all this stuff. So as a kid, I got to go to his house and look at all these props.
Awesome.
And it was so mind-blowing for a kid. So I was just like, I want to know more about this.
It kind of inspired you to move forward with it.
And when I was a kid, I just loved horror films. I don't know what it was. Like, the video store, my mom would drop me off, or she'd take me by, and like, I'd pick out things like The Lost Boys or something like that, and she would be like, are you sure you can watch this? And I'm like, yeah, I can watch this. And they would scare me, but I would, you know, like, I'd watch all kinds of horror films. I'd stay up late. My husband and I have Netflix, and we decided we were going to go through and watch every Friday the 13th movie and just sort of watch them, you know, daily. And because a lot of them I had always just seen on TV, and, you know, they always cut them up. And
yeah, I think the first time I saw some of them was on USA Up All Night.
Yeah, exactly.
Joe Bob Briggs.
Yeah, I met Joe Bob Briggs last year.
Did you, dude? We are Joe Bob fanboys.
He's awesome. He was so nice. I feel really bad because he invited my husband and I, like, to something called Bad Mexican Food Night, which is something he does with his friends. And we didn't get to go because I had a lot of homework. I'm in school too, and he and I both had homework, so we couldn't go do it. But he was so nice, and he asked me for a copy of Albino Farm, so I sent him that. Yeah, he's a really cool guy.
Yeah, Joe Bob is the shit. You review a lot of horror films, obviously, so I'm just curious, what are some of your favorites? Like, what are some of your...
Where do I start?
I know, that's a shitty question to ask a horror fan. I know.
Okay. I love stuff, even like, I loved Pumpkinhead. That was one of my favorites as a kid.
Pumpkinhead rocks.
Yeah, The Lost Boys. I love that. I loved An American Werewolf in London. I love all the Friday the 13th. Well, not all of them, but most of them. You know, Nightmare on Elm Street. I don't even know where to start. It's almost
the classics.
Yeah, and Halloween. You know, all of those. I have to almost go into subgenres.
You know, I feel like Hollywood just gotten sloppy and shitty and lazy. Like, I don't know what the fuck happened, man. Like, horror movies used to be wonderful back in the day, and now they're... Like, I can count on one hand.
The only time you get decent ones is indie flicks anymore.
Yeah.
If you want to get technical, though, that was kind of always the case. They would start off mostly indie, and then they would become these machines.
Yeah. I took a film class, and they were I actually learned that I think in 1983, I think they said it was almost like 60% of the money that went in the box office was for like horror films, slasher type films.
I really don't like this Saw trend of flicks.
No.
Saw,
torture porn.
To be honest, I've only seen the first Saw, but I really don't like torture porn. I don't.
Passion of the Christ.
That's funny.
I like a little bit of levity in my horror film, not some guy strapped to a toilet in a dingy bathroom for an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's sort of just, it kind of takes the fun out of it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
I just feel dirty when
I
watch
Saw
film.
Yeah.
I want to take a shower afterwards.
Yeah.
Well, that leads me to my next question. Then what are some of your least favorite horror films? I know Video Dead.
I don't even really hate that one that much. I mean, I watched it, didn't I?
That's true.
I guess I really don't like super modern horror films, and I'm not talking about those that come to the theater or anything. More like almost the type that sort of just get slapped together and shot in someone's kitchen or something in their apartment. And I understand you have to start somewhere, but those to me are just really hard to watch because it's bad acting.
They always have the same formula too. It's just the same.
I mean, that kind of stuff. I don't know. I mean, other than that, like I think we already kind of covered. I don't really like the torture porn stuff.
Right, I gotcha. Well, what I'm curious, what got you involved in video casting and podcasting? What started that?
My husband actually used to have a show on Jackalope as well.
Really?
And, it was called the Macabre Cafe.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was talking to me a lot about radio shows and things, and I was kind of like, And then, like I said, I took that film class recently, and I had to review a lot of movies for the class.
Right.
So I was like, this is kind of fun. Sort of rediscovering why I love movies and why I want to be in them. I was like, it might be cool to do that. And then I did the show, Bill Shetty, I talked to him on Horror Palace, and during the show, he was just kind of like, hey, you want to be on
Right.
Horror Palace? I was like, sure.
Nice.
So that's kind of how it all kind of just worked out like that. It was nice.
That's awesome. Well, you do a really good job, honestly.
Thank you. First, I was really, not comfortable at all, but I think it's hard to just sit there and talk to the camera and you don't know how people are going to react and what they're going to say or,
Here's the thing that I hate about when people review horror. What you do is good. It's clear, it's concise, it's to the point, you express your feelings. Sometimes people take a movie like fucking Troll 2, for instance.
Oh, God, yeah.
And tear it apart for an hour and a half, and I just can't listen to shit like give me your opinion and shit, but I don't,
Yeah, I don't want to make it too long because I don't want it to be boring. And I understand that it's difficult to actually make a film, especially being involved in that process myself. So I know that a lot of these movies, people really put their heart and soul and a lot of money, or for them, money into it. Right. So I don't want to be dream crusher or anything like that.
Don't want to crush anybody's dreams.
Right. So, I mean, I try to be objective, I try to point out something good about the film. So
that's nice of you, because Hollywood's fucking mean, man.
Yeah, they are.
Do you do any of the horror con circuit?
Yeah, I do.
That's
In fact,
awesome.
Where do you usually go?
So far, I've been all over the place. I've been everywhere from LA to Indianapolis to Pennsylvania, Texas.
Nice.
I haven't hit like Florida, and I haven't gone to New York yet or New Jersey. But the next one I'm going to is Horror Hound Weekend.
Oh, great.
2 weeks, actually, yeah, in September.
Wonderful.
Thanks. In Indianapolis. So I'm going there as press, and I'm bringing, the whole WTF sort of thing, and I'm going to cover that. So that's a first.
Rock
so
and
we'll
roll.
see how that goes.
That's awesome.
Be okay. I don't know. I mean,
Oh.
I kind of don't know exactly what I'm doing, but I know I can figure it out pretty quickly.
No. You're doing very well, and I think that people will love it. I'm sure.
Oh,
people
good. I don't want to say, like, I have a gift, but I can talk with anyone, basically.
Right. What other projects are you currently working on right now?
Well, I'm attached to a couple of things right now. One is called Vengeance Wears a Skirt, and it's been
Nice.
in the works. Yeah, it's been in the works for almost 4 years now. But it's getting close to, there's just been so much paperwork, and they had casting issues and everything else, but now the budget's there. The negotiation, there's actually a fairly big named actor that is negotiating right now. I can't talk about it yet, but as soon as he signs, we can talk about it. Locations are getting set and all this stuff. So basically, it's been described, and I've read the script as well, as kind of almost like Kill Bill, sort of, but not
Nice.
quite. Yeah, it's going to be sort of an exploitation action
That's awesome.
film. I mean, it won't really be horror, but there will be violence and blood.
Right.
So. And I'm the lead in that, so that's really cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's
It's
wonderful.
my first lead, so I'm kind of nervous, but I think I can do it.
Oh yeah, man, you'll be great. That's awesome. That's great.
And then there's Experiments in Killing, which they've been talking about it on Horror Palace as well. It's sort of an experimental, it's a low budget, very low budget, but it's an experimental filmmaking kind of thing where they're actually documenting all of the behind the scenes stuff on their podcast. So
Oh, nice.
yeah, so it's kind of cool. That's what intrigued me into that. So, and then I have one more film, but I have to wait until September really to announce it. But it's a sequel to something that's about to come out, so that's kind of cool.
Awesome. Very
Right
cool.
on.
Well, where can fans find you? Where can people go to stay up on the latest Bianca Barnett news?
Well, you can go to my website, BiancaBarnett.com, or you can go to my Facebook page. I've got like 3.
I noticed that you do.
Yeah.
You're all over Facebook. That's awesome.
Unfortunately, I don't really update 2 of them because it's just such a hassle. But
No, I understand that.
I have one main account, and it's just Facebook.Bianca.A.Barnett. People can subscribe. I can't, get any more friends, but they can subscribe. To
I hate that Facebook does that. That kills me.
I know. I was looking at MySpace just out of curiosity because I haven't looked there in a while, and there's no limit really to friends you can have on MySpace.
It's kind of like Facebook even realizes that there's a limit to what you can actually look at in your feed. It's just like, no, you don't have 3 days to look through a day's worth of content.
Okay, so now we've been starting to do this with every guest, and it just kind of gives people a little insight into who you are. But when I say go, I'm going to ask you as many questions as possible in 60 seconds.
Okay. I've never done this before, so.
You've never done this before? Okay.
No, nothing like this, no.
Okay, well, this will be fun.
Okay.
These will be this or that questions, okay? You don't necessarily have to choose one or the other. Just say the first thing that comes to mind.
Okay.
And these are fucking all over the place. They're all over the board. Okay, so you ready?
Uh-huh.
All right, and here we go. George Romero or Robert Kirkman?
Romero.
Nice. Whips or chains?
Whips.
Nice. High five or butt slap?
High five.
Nice. Your zombie apocalypse weapon?
Chainsaw.
Wonderful. Last thing you had to drink?
Diet cream soda.
Freddy or Jason?
Oh, Freddy.
Thin crust or deep dish?
Then.
Nice. Wonderful. Color of the bra you're wearing?
I'm not wearing one right now.
Perfect. What's the last thing you had to eat?
A bowl of cereal.
Wonderful. Oh, Spider-Man or Batman?
Batman.
Nice. Thongs or bikini briefs?
Hipster boy shorts.
Nice. Kevin Smith or Judd Apatow?
Oh, that's hard. Kevin Smith.
Perfect. Regular or decaf?
Oh, regular all the way.
And that's a minute.
Oh,
Fantastic.
cool.
Fantastic. You're quick on your feet. Outstanding. Oh, Bianca, thank you so much for being on the program with us tonight.
Thank you. It was fun.
You are an awesome chick, both talented and beautiful. That doesn't happen very, very often. So,
Thanks.
follow her on Facebook and Twitter. Check out BiancaBarnett.com. Watch her video casts, WTF. Watch this film. Those are very cool. And thank you so much. We would love to have you on again anytime. You are welcome.
I'd love to.
You are
it'd be
welcome on
absolutely
our
great
show
to get you back on around the time that movie comes out.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything that you have coming out that you want to promote, we would be happy to put you on the air. So.
Oh, that sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
and we will talk soon.
All right.